Wow, we have not done one of these in a long time, but we are back. So this is vocabulary test number 27. So that brings the total number of words to 810. I believe that math is correct because 27 times 3 is going to be 81, and then add the 0 because there's 30 words in each group. So let's just get into this. Stevens is an estimable figure. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to trick you. So I wonder if I got anybody. So this word estimable has two definitions. One definition is able to be estimated, and that's not really the one I was going for. The other definition is the correct answer. So what I was hoping is some people would choose A here, assuming that calculating kind of matches with estimated. The problem is it doesn't match. Calculating has a meaning that you're trying to kind of be devious or trying to get one past me, for example. The correct answer is going to be respected right there. The manager was lambasted for his actions. That just sounds negative, doesn't it? So the manager was basically scolded or reprimanded or told to not do that. Maybe he did something to the food, or maybe he goofed off in the kitchen, whatever it is. So the correct answer is going to be admonished. Please excuse my peccadillo. So whenever I say that, a peccadillo is like, hey, I didn't kill your dog or anything, but I did do something to offend somebody or to kind of like a minor offense. Maybe I wore my shoes in your house. Maybe I did not follow dinner etiquette to a T, something like that. So the correct answer here is going to be offense. Over time, it became clear that we had been swindled. I'm pretty sure most native speakers are going to know what this one means. But if you're not a native speaker, to swindle somebody basically means to deceive or to lie in order to get something that they have, usually money. So the best answer here is going to be defrauded, number 4. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Number 5, the children cajoled their parents. So this word here is very similar to another word we've studied, and I don't really know the pronunciation. Inveigle, something like that. I don't even know if I spelled that correctly. And basically what that means is you say a bunch of nice things to somebody, not because you're a nice person, but because you're hoping to get something in return. It's a very kind of self-serving compliment. Oh, you look so great today. Hey, can you help me out with my homework? Something like that. So the best answer here is going to be flattered. I've been relegated to this position. You know what this is? This is like the opposite of being promoted. You get promoted to that nice job, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden you're terrible at that job, and then you get kind of downgraded into your old position or maybe even a lower position. So that brings up an interesting aside. Are you guys aware of something called the Peter Principle? The Peter Principle basically says this. People will excel in their job, will do very well in their job, and then naturally get promoted. The problem is they typically get promoted to either a job that requires different skills or to a job that has more responsibility, something like that. And so what happens is people kind of get promoted continuously until they're in the job they don't really know how to do. So it's almost like you can imagine most of the people at any given moment, as long as there is a company that allows promotion, they're kind of like unaware of what's going on, or they're really not that good at their job. They're kind of incompetent. So that's the Peter Principle. We see this all the time in sports with coaching. We have a player who becomes like an assistant coach, maybe does a pretty good job. That assistant coach gets promoted to an even bigger assistant coach. And then finally, they give that coach a head coaching position, and you'll see these, usually men, they crash and burn in that position all the time. That's why coaching is such kind of a dangerous position, right? All right, do not antagonize the dog. You guys probably know this word from movies. Are you familiar with the word antagonist? Antagonist is the bad guy, the guy who kind of causes all kinds of trouble, stirs up all kinds of shit. So the best answer is going to be provoke. Our program was undercut by several people. This one should be pretty obvious, right? Does undercut sound like a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. So it was impaired. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Number 9, I don't agree that he's a miscreant. One of these words you probably just have to study. A miscreant is like a little punk. A little kid or, man or woman who just engages in, illegal behavior, causes all kinds of trouble. Best answer is going to be criminal. Those were heady days indeed. This is one of those words that has two definitions. One definition means intoxicating. So if I describe something as a heady drink, that means I'm getting pretty drunk. It's really kind of hitting me. Another meaning of heady is like exciting, or those were like the good old days. So the best answer is going to be thrilling. Can't we all just have unalloyed happiness? So to alloy something means typically to combine it like with another metal. Like, have you ever heard of the word alloy? A metal alloy? I think what this is a combination between two metals, maybe three. So what unalloyed means is it means that there's been no combination, right? There's been no combination process. So what it means is pure. Everything is pure. Turpitude in society is on the rise. For me, this is one of those words I just have to study. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I have to study this word, right? And what it means is immorality. Basically, people are engaging in a bunch of, immoral behavior, things they shouldn't be doing. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, number 13, Karen found the play repugnant. So did she like this play? No, it sounds like she hated it. So remarkable's probably wrong, reminiscence probably wrong, revolutionary's probably wrong, recondite's probably wrong. The only word that really means that she was kind of disgusted by this play is repulsive. Jim's known for his bombastic speeches. Do you guys remember that episode of The Office where Jim gave Dwight speech advice? And basically he told Dwight to like keep hitting the podium or whatever that thing is, and basically kind of talk like a fascist dictator. I think he was even inspired by a speech from Mussolini. So that's kind of what bombastic means. It means kind of like this really inflated speech, saying a bunch of things that are just like crazy and out there and all that stuff. Wealth can be easily squandered. Basically what that means is you can lose wealth. Right? I mean, we see this all the time in society, right? So the best answer is going to be wasted. Now, the word squandered even has a more negative connotation. It's not like you're using it to help the poor or help the needy. Squandered means literally like the money has gone to waste. Typically slang, you'll see something like he blew it on hookers and blow. Typically we see that. That would be a good example of squandering your money, right? Another good example would be like Nicolas Cage. The actor, if you read about his bankruptcy filing, he was buying some pretty crazy shit. I think he was buying like 4 tigers, just like really crazy stuff that no one really needs. Number 16, the mother opted for euphemism. So we actually just had this word in our text completion and sentence equivalence live class, and it was kind of tripping a lot of people up, so I thought I would include it here. Whenever you have a euphemism, it's basically a nice or friendly way to say something that's off-putting. Take, for example, you might be hanging out with your friends, and then one of your friends is like, hey, I got to take a dump. Something like that. But if you're hanging out with, the mom, you would never say, I'm going to go take a dump. You would say, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom, or I'm going to go number 2. Stuff like this is euphemism. You often hear like American children using the phrase frickin' instead of its more blunt alternative. I can let you guys imagine that. So the correct answer here is going to be E, polite terminology. All right, let's go ahead and move on. 17, do you think we'll be able to wheedle the boss? I think I'm pronouncing that right. So to wheedle, believe it or not, is a synonym of cajole. And if you remember what cajole means, it means to flatter somebody in order to achieve an aim or, to gain something. So the correct answer of the 5, the best one is going to be convince. The art museum is full of Philistines. So this was me trying to trick you again. Remember, these questions do not test context. So really, the art museum is full of, we don't care about that. So what I was trying to have you guys do is assume that A could not be the answer, because why would they even be in the art museum? But that is, in fact, the correct answer. A Philistine or a Philistine is somebody who is either indifferent or hostile to art. 19, my brother is a curmudgeon. He's a grumpy, cranky old man, or, just not a nice guy to be around. Correct answer is grump. Xenophobia is on the rise, and I think it is. If you look at the news, I feel like xenophobia is on the rise. I don't consider this a positive trend, personally. Xenophobia is basically distrust of outsiders. This is my country. Don't come in, that kind of thing, right? So the correct answer is prejudice right there. All right, moving on. The lands are barren. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this word. Basically, if a land is barren, not much is happening, right? No crops, no grass, no animals, lifeless. I am chary of most people. Chary? Carry? So what this means is it's another one of these words that basically means I'm a little bit suspicious, right? I'm wary of most people. I'm circumspect. It's pretty amazing how GRE will kind of focus on one idea, cautious, and then have like 4 or 5 different words that say the same thing. So the correct answer is wary. What a tragic dirge. Now, you might be saying, hey, this will never appear on your GRE, and you would be inaccurate. I've seen this word a couple times on official ETS material. Basically, what it is a very sad song or poem. So of the 5 choices, the best answer is obviously going to be poem. How dare you excoriate me? Am I pronouncing that right? Probably not. This is another one of these GRE words, which basically means, criticize or yell at me. How dare you? Other words are, of course, going to be reprimand, the correct answer, scold, rebuke, condemn. All of those words kind of mean the same thing, just like here, just like chary of, right? We have like 4 or 5 of these GRE words that mean that. Same thing with this excoriate or criticize kind of idea. All right, we're getting near the end here. Jessica derided, there's another one, derided the sentimentality of the book. So sentimental can really have kind of a neutral meaning and a negative meaning. The neutral meaning just means it's emotional, makes people cry. It's not really positive, not really negative. But it can also have this meaning where it's too emotional. There's just too much of the pulling on the heartstrings going on here. So that's why the best answer of the 5 is going to be mawkishness. Now, one thing you'll notice that I occasionally do is I occasionally make all of the 5 answer choices GRE words. Okay? And the reason I'm doing this is to kind of test your ability to memorize these words or to remember these words from previous study. 26, these are implacable foes. The root word here is going to be placate. If I can placate you, that means I can calm you down, right? I can calm you down. So implacable means I cannot calm you down. You never stop. Correct answer is relentless. The crisis is exigent. Exigent? Basically, we got to solve this now. This shit is getting dire, right? That's another kind of synonym, dire. Correct answer is urgent. The school is looking to hire imperturbable teachers. The root word would be perturb, which means to annoy or bother. So if somebody's imperturbable, that means you cannot bother them, right? So they're very kind of calm. They've got their shit together, right? Correct answer is composed. All right, 2 more. He's a bit too haughty, I reckon. He's a bit too haughty. So what does that mean? Somebody who's haughty is very pompous. Very they have an elevated sense of themselves. So the correct answer is going to be arrogant. Number 30, the company insisted on tangible results. Tangible has 2 meanings. Meaning number 1, you can touch it. The table is tangible. But there is another meaning to it, which means clear or, definite, which is actually the correct answer. A. All right, guys, we are back with the Test Your GRE vocabulary. Hopefully you found this useful and you found the intro at least a little bit entertaining. So again, like we said, we're up to 810 words. That's pretty amazing. So these are going to keep coming. We're going to have vocab 28 out pretty soon, which will bring us up to 840 words, I believe. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. And if you have any questions, you can, of course, email me. greg@gregmat.com. If you guys are interested in signing up for GregMat Plus, it's $5 a month. Basically, we have 8 live classes a week, and we also have some other stuff in there. All the classes are recorded. You can join as many as you'd like. And if you are, if you only want to do 1 month, you can just sign up and then immediately cancel, and that'll give you 1 month access. All right, guys, I will talk to you later.